Welcome to Raw Talk, Real Healing.
It's like therapy, but with more laughs and less copays.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Diana.
We're licensed therapists.
But here, we just want to have raw and unapologetic conversations.
So come vibe with us. Where professional meets personal.
Let's get it.
Girl! 724.
Kidding. Take two, though.
Yeah.
I hate when this happens. We have to do better about checking.
I know.
Because
sometimes it defaults back, like,
I know.
I don't even know.
So if any of y'all are listening and you know how to save audio when like the wrong speaker was clicked, right? That's
Yeah.
what it is. Comment down below because
Right. So, take two. Let's try this bitch again.
I know. You want to do a little check-in?
Yeah, how you feeling?
Good. I got my Christmas tree decorated. I was so happy last night. Put my tree up, directed Mike where to put the ornaments. And then as soon as I turned the light on, I was like, Christmas! I was so excited. And it just adds a nice vibe to the house. I love it.
I love all the lights and the festive stuff. That's cute.
I know. It truly is the best, especially when you're going through an overwhelming time period. I feel like it's nice, it's grounding, and I love it.
You mentioned overwhelming times.
Mm-hmm.
Are you overwhelmed?
I am, but it's a good overwhelming feeling. It's, no real growth comes with being comfortable. So I'm just having some growing pains right now, going out on my own as a solo practitioner. I keep saying stuff like to my family, and I'll be like, sorry, guys, I'm just a businesswoman now.
You've been a businesswoman.
I know, but like it feels different.
Yeah.
It's like next step, Very overwhelming, but I'm super excited.
AKA, Gabby's leaving the office. She's going by herself. She's leaving us. She hates us, and she doesn't want to be our besties anymore.
That is actually true. So, I'm kidding. That is never true. So we won't be in the same building anymore. So this will always be our place of recording because I won't be there. So
Right. Yeah.
Stay tuned. Maybe I can give everybody a tour of my new space when it's ready.
Nice. Can't wait to see
Me neither. I got to find a wallpaper.
it. Okay. So, high functioning depression is today's topic.
Yeah.
It's actually a really good topic because I think this can also tie into like the holiday season, coming up where people are really low, but they're still like pushing through.
Yes.
So.
And stay tuned because we might have something sweet coming for you.
Yes. So this is something that people live with often, but it always or often goes unnoticed. Again, because when you are a person who has or who's functioning, off of depression, you are literally like the Energizer Bunny.
Right.
Like you're just going and going and going. And then everything is like, okay, stop,
right.
eat, wake up, do the same thing over and over and over. And I think this is so important to talk about because sometimes we don't even realize that within ourselves we might be going through those things. Sometimes we look at our loved ones and we're like, oh my God, so proud, they're doing so good, they're working so hard, and we're not even noticing like they about to shut down.
Right. And I just want to say shout out to, one of our vulnerable listeners who said that she just learned about this and was like, oh my God, I resonate with this so much. Could you please do a podcast episode on it? So that's why we're here.
Yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, girl.
So something that a person who has high functioning depression hides behind is like, a good sense of humor, productivity, their
Mhm.
success, still always meeting those like obligations that they have, like still pushing through,
Right.
or even if it's like a student, right?
Right.
Like someone who's always getting good grades, they're, super smart, like going through life. And I feel like I'm finding this, like that high school, eighth grade up into high school, like
Mhm.
this is where I'm seeing more of that, like coming into the office because, it's like, sometimes there's expectations for
Mhm.
themselves with their parents or even, kids who have siblings who may be struggling, but they're the ones who are always pushing through, and so they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh, you're doing good. We don't have to worry about you."
Right.
Then they get left out,
Yeah.
and then it's like, "What about me?"
And I also think too, like, I don't think like it has to do always with siblings or parents. I feel like a lot of kids or teens come in and they apply this pressure on themselves because now with school, it's like, okay, if you take this class, and this class in high school, you can go into college, a year or so ahead. Literally, my brother just did one semester or is in his first semester, and by next semester, he's already a sophomore in college because of all of the stuff that, carried over. So, I feel like because you have those opportunity now, people put so much pressure on themselves, and that may not even come from the parents or an example. I think a lot of them put this pressure on themselves for the transition of just going into high school or something like that.
Yeah. So I think it's important, right, to also talk about the misconception of what depression looks
Mhm.
like. I feel like when someone says, that, they have depression, or when we look at what depression is,
Mhm.
it's like, okay, your hygiene is messed up because you ain't
Right.
getting out of bed. You're so lonely. You're isolated. You know what I mean? Like people paint this picture of what
Right.
like a depressed person looks like, and that's not the only way that someone who is depressed looks like. It's not all about the movies
Right.
and the shows and what that looks like, and that can be true.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
that's clinical depression, right?
Mhm.
But we are talking about someone who has high functioning depression. So that looks different.
Right. And I was just having a conversation the other day where they were saying like, "Oh, I I I can't say I've never been depressed, but I was never like, oh, I can't get out of bed." That doesn't matter. Don't invalidate your experience because you're pushing through. You're still having those internal feelings of numbness or isolation or loneliness. You know, it doesn't have to look one way to be depression.
Right. Exactly. So what does high functioning depression actually look like? It looks like being disconnected,
Yeah.
right? Finding
Mhm.
no pleasure even after doing all of those things you just did for the day.
Yeah.
You feel so drained inside that, it's like, I don't even know why I'm doing this.
Right.
Like you have a full calendar, you'll be getting promotions at work, you're just, so productive,
Yeah.
but get no enjoyment out of any of it.
Right, like, you're there, you're doing the part, but you just literally feel blah inside.
Yeah, because there's no connectedness to nothing.
Right,
Not, people, not joy out of getting something,
right.
complete. Like there's no self efficacy there, right?
Right, I feel like these are the people who feel maybe a little bit dissociated or feel like they're running on autopilot because they're just kind of going through the motions and they're not present or enjoying anything that's going on around them. And there are moments where I'm guilty of this too, where it's like you're just trying to complete what you're in now because you want to get to that next thing. And it's just pushing, pushing, pushing. And it's like, okay, there will be a light when I get there. But like, what about each step along the way? Like, you should be present and enjoying those moments too. And I think people just get into that loop of like, I just got to get to the end, just got to get to the end. And then they're completely disconnected.
Yeah. Because what you're going to get when you get to the end, you still feel nothing.
Right.
That's what we're talking about. It's not like we did this one thing or like, gosh, I got everything done on my to-do list. I feel so great. I feel productive. Let me do blah, 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 and finally do something for myself or go hang with friends or family. You don't want to do nothing. You can be so irritable sometimes too. Like,
Right.
there's just no type of joy or enjoyment out of anything.
Yeah, and I think along with feeling irritable, there can be like moments where you just constantly feel tired. Like you're going to bed tired, you're waking up tired, you are always feeling tired. And as we say this, can we take a pause?
Do you want to?
Yes.
Are you happy?
Yes, back from our coffee break. It's literally a singular
Shot
shot
of
of espresso, but you know what?
Enjoy that.
I love a good espresso shot.
Yeah.
Okay,
Back to
fatigue.
yeah.
Here we go. So, one thing too that I think was really important that you mentioned in the beginning was like people can miss this. And I think a lot of times when people are in therapy or they're talking to others about how they're feeling, other people will be like, "Really? You seem okay. Like, you seem great to me." And it's like we have to hear these people for how they're saying that they feel because this is how this stuff goes unnoticed. This is how things like this kind of fly under the radar. And it almost makes me, oh my gosh, this almost makes me think of like, I hate to say this, but like when people commit suicide
Aw.
and people will say, like, oh my gosh, like, I wish they would have said something. I feel like this can almost be that, like that high functioning depression where nobody knows.
Mhm.
So I think it's important to check in on your people, check in on your friends, and if they are saying things, I think it's important to be like, "Hey, are things okay?"
Yeah, just checking in.
I think these
Checking
people
in.
could feel unheard too.
Mhm. Yeah. So the problem with high function depression is that eventually there is a crash.
Mhm.
That mask will drop.
Right.
Physically, your body will not be able to take it. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like your nervous system will shut down,
Mhm.
and I think it's important for everyone to recognize and realize that, especially within ourselves and, with other people,
Right.
because it will happen,
Right.
and
Like you can't keep that up
yeah,
forever.
no, you lose that drive to keep going because that is not the way we are hardwired nor designed. That's
Right.
not how we thrive. You're literally just surviving.
And if you didn't listen to that episode, go back and listen to it because that was a good one. Now, that episode was from our early days. I think that was the one that we recorded maybe at my house.
Yes.
So the quality is trash, but please, by all means, watch,
Make out the
listen.
words.
You'll figure it out and see how far we've come,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Because being in survival for long periods of times
Right.
just rewires your brain. You know what I mean?
Right, and I think that's when people start to feel like this is normal. Like, "Oh, this is just how life is." No, life is supposed to be not always sunshines and rainbows, but sunshines and rainbows at times. And I think if you don't ever have those moments where it feels happy or calm and peaceful, then you got to recognize what's going on within you.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, with this crash out, right? You're going to feel numb.
Yes.
There might be shame. Like, I used to be able to do this, this, this.
Mhm.
Why can't I do this anymore? Why am
Yeah.
I not feeling productive? It also can look like failure. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not good enough anymore. I just don't have
Right.
it.
Yeah, and two, when that happens, like you were saying, people are like, "Okay, well, why can't I do this? And I used to be able to do this." That's when those feelings of failure start to come in because, you're gonna look back and be like, "Wow, I was doing this, I was grinding, I was doing all of the things, and now what am I doing? Nothing."
Yeah.
But again, like these are warning signs that your body is giving you. Like when you are feeling the lack of pleasure, when you are feeling tired, when you are feeling irritable, use those as like warning signs from your body. Those are red flags like, hey, if you don't slow down, if you don't check in, if you don't fill your cup, this crash out is coming.
Yeah, for sure. And I know someone personally who I feel has their moments of like very high functioning, depression. And, I see it often and like, but I wasn't able to recognize it back then. You know what I mean? I only know it now because we can talk about it. There's resources and we see this now. But, I think about this person like always on top of things, especially with her children, going to work, like doing all of the things,
Showing up.
but always so unhappy,
Mhm.
and like got no pleasure out of anything. I guess minus like everything that was done with her children, but like just in general life, because your life doesn't revolve around your children.
Right.
And that's a
No.
whole nother episode, I think, on empty
That would be a
nesters.
good one.
Oh, I love to talk about that. So, but I just noticed like the cycle with this person, and there was a crash.
Mhm.
It just happened.
Right, because when your body is in that fight or flight kind of mode where it's just fighting and going and going and going, your nervous system is running on adrenaline. At some point, that's going to wear out. And two, like this can also lead to like sickness. That definitely used to be me. Thank God this season haven't gotten there yet, but there have been so many times where I've just run myself ragged and then I literally just crash and burn and I'm ill. Sick. Physically sick.
I remember that. You were sick for like
Last year
Yeah.
and the year before.
Yes.
Remember how bad I was wheezing
Yeah.
last year? That was wild.
Yeah. Crazy. So we got to get this together. One good aspect that you brought up too was like society and cultural lens, like that hustle culture. Don't get caught up in the hustle culture. Let me tell you something, because
Oh, I'm caught up right now.
I'm so guilty of that. I think we were having a conversation one day about something. I forget what it was. And I was like, girl, I've been working since I was 12 years old. Like, that's all I know how to do is work, work, work.
If
And
y'all didn't notice, Diana doesn't know how to slow down
at all.
at all.
At all. I don't. I think it was like one day you were like, why are you editing at 1 o'clock in the morning? Like, what are you doing up?
Yeah, we get emails when videos are exported, and this bitch exported a video at like 12:47 a.m. I'm in like REM sleep. REM.
Yeah.
Dreaming.
And I'm just getting to sleep. Out of sleep so late. I hate it. I hate it. But it's like,
But think about it. When you were waking up early and working out at like 6:30 in the morning, your ass was asleep earlier.
yeah, but when you talk about earlier, what, 11:30? 12?
I feel like it was earlier than that.
No.
That's bizarre.
Like 11:30 was probably the earliest.
Prime time, wind down time. 9:30. 9:30, I'm like on the couch getting ready to watch an episode of Scandal and hitting the hay.
In the hay.
Seriously, and most times I fall asleep watching TV, like on the couch, and I'm like, gotta get up and go to bed.
See, I don't like that. If I'm feeling sleepy, I'm just gonna go to bed. I cannot fall asleep on the couch. Jamal does that every night.
Well, that couch doesn't look like it'd be comfy to sleep on.
He thinks it is. I don't. Our couch in the basement is so comfortable.
Yeah, my couch in my living room is so comfortable.
Yeah, it is comfortable.
So when I lay down at night and like my body starts to relax, I feel like I just naturally fall asleep.
Back to this hustle culture.
Yes.
We have to have a balance.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think we were talking about before too, where we have this generation who doesn't like to work. And then we have, past where it's like work, 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 work. And like neither one is okay. Neither one is good. You have to have a balance. Like you have to have, drive and motivation and resiliency. You have to have all of these things, you got to work. You got to make a living, right?
I think it's an important like skill, like it's an important skill, not in like, okay, yeah, we have to work, but I think it teaches young kids responsibility. Like my favorite saying is we don't live to work, we work to live. And that is the balance.
Yeah. That it is hard too though, especially in this economy right now. Cray cray. we're not gonna get into that, but, like, this is the time, most importantly, like, you gotta be able to hustle. You gotta be able
You
to do something different,
Yeah, nothing's gonna just come to you.
Ooh.
And I
I
don't
know.
envy the people where the things do just come to them either.
No, no. Here's the thing too, though. I know a couple people, they're like, "Ugh, my job wants me to work on the weekends, and you know what? I just can't work on the weekends." I'm like, "I've always worked on the weekends," before having, like, your career,
Mhm.
set, but, like, they just don't want to work. Like, it's too
I
much pressure. I don't understand it.
I worked every weekend, every holiday for 7, 8 years.
Yeah. Black Friday, I was up in that bitch at 3 a.m.
I never did retail like that.
Oh, yes, I
So
did.
I did not.
Like, you just gotta do what you gotta do.
I mean, like, even when people ask, like, "Oh, what are you doing for New Year's?" I'm always like, "I don't do anything for New Year's." I always had to work the next day.
Hmm.
I always worked, so I never really went out. And then, I mean, even still, I really don't. Like, Imma get a dinner or something, but that's it.
Right. So don't get caught up in that
Yeah.
hustle culture either. Guys, we're just talking about having balance
Yes.
here. You know what I mean? And being able to understand what it actually looks like. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? What are you actually feeling? So let's talk about recognizing these things.
Mhm.
There's signs in yourself, right? You got to ask yourself, do I feel any fulfillment out of this? Am I feeling any type of joy? Am I just doing this cuz I have to and I'm like just on like rinse repeat?
Wash, rinse, repeat.
Yeah, like,
Mhm.
because I don't want that, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, if I can't have, I mean, it's not gonna be every day.
No.
It's not gonna be every day, but at least, like, some type of, like, "Wow, that was a really good session, like, I'm so happy about that, like, I
Mhm.
just feel good about today," like, or even if you're like, "Wow, that was a lot, I'm so looking forward to spending time with family or friends."
Yes.
You're feeling something. You're
Yeah.
not, like, so drained and not feeling anything at work and then not wanting to be connected with other people and, like, just
Right.
shutting down. You have to recognize that in yourself, and so if
Mhm.
you're asking yourself these questions and you're realizing, like, "Mm, what do I like about this?"
And I think it's important to highlight too, like, it's okay to slow down.
Yeah.
Because when you are feeling these things and you are feeling disconnected, like, let's take a pause. Let's, ground ourselves in our space. If you love your space, um, just fill your cup.
Yeah. You have to validate the experience that you're going through.
Right.
You can't just be like, "Oh, well, it is what it is." No, you can slow down.
You know what I hate? When people say, like, what am I doing complaining about this when, like, there are so many other people who have it worse than me? And, like, yes, that's true, but that doesn't mean what you're going through isn't still hard. And that's what we mean by this. Like, just because you're not the isolated person laying on the couch in bed with no support doesn't mean that what you're going through isn't still hard.
Right. I always tell, people like validate your experience because
Right.
your experience is not someone else's. Now that saying has to be applicable to that specific
Mhm.
thing. You know what I mean? Like you can I sometimes I think about that too, but I use it as like grounding and gratitude for me
Mhm.
like for example, you know what? Like using it for working out. Like, there are people who wish they can get up and work out, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And, like, they don't have, legs or arms to move or just
I
mobility, you
know.
know what I mean? So I was like, "You know what? You're able to do this right now, like, so blessed, so get up and go work out and feel good."
Yep.
I can use it there to have that, like,
Yeah,
reflection,
yeah.
like, "You know what? I do have this," or, like, I woke up today, let me have a
Yeah.
good day. But, like, if you're feeling these things don't invalidate what you're
Right.
feeling because someone else has it worse.
Right.
That's not fair.
And
You know
that's
what I
not
mean?
healthy either.
No. Mm-mm.
Because if you're invalidating yourself, you're going to allow others to invalidate you too.
Yeah. Also, when you said slowing down, yesterday, okay, I just want to share this with you.
Did you slow down?
Yes.
Woo! What'd you do?
Gabby would be so proud.
Let me hear it.
So we left in the morning to do a couple errands and then Camille had practice and then I'm coming back and I'm like I'm just gonna like I have so much to do but I worked out later because we had to wake up so early. And Jamal was like, "No, slow down. You don't have to do anything." And I was like, "But," he ran a bath, like, with Epsom salt and stuff like that because I was sore from working out, and I just sat there. We put some music on, he lit candles, he went and, like, did his thing, and I was just, like,
In the tub?
in the tub. Like, we have, like, a jacuzzi,
Mhm.
and I just was vibing.
Lounging?
Yeah, I almost fell asleep. I was like, "Check on me, make sure I don't fall asleep and drown."
My mom did that before.
Oh my
She
god.
fell asleep in the tub.
For real?
Mhm.
Yeah, I was just more, relaxing, but I was like,
Yeah.
"Is this what it's like to slow down?" So, guys, how do we bridge, like, this high functioning depression, this unhealthiness,
Yeah.
the surviving to thriving? You have to feel purposeful, connected,
Yeah.
and alive. So
Yes.
how are we doing that? How can we get back to these things? And it all comes back to awareness. You got to know
Yes.
that you're going through it. You got to validate what you're feeling and experiencing. You got to know that
Mhm.
you're disconnected. Find the ways to get connected again because
Mhm.
I think all of us, and I want to normalize that, right? All of us at some point, I think, get disconnected, whether, it's just within ourselves, our partners, or just in life, or we just have a day. Let's just call it like a day where
Yeah.
you're feeling like, I don't know, I can't like kick this, I think I shared with you one day, I was like, you know what? I think it was a Sunday too. I was like, I'm just not feeling it. I went out, got Starbucks, got my vanilla chai, and then I went to Home Goods
Ugh.
and was just like walking around, like seeing,
Mhm.
all the Christmas stuff out, and like I just had a good time. I got like so motivated again, and like I felt so good, filled my cup up. I even went grocery shopping after. I was like, you know what? I feel productive.
And you never grocery
I
shop.
never because I hate it. I make Jamal do it.
I don't like it either, but I will do it.
Yeah, and I was like, psh. And that week was like a week because I had like everything I was cooking for dinner that week,
Mhm.
got it up, and we were just thriving. And I'm like, damn, I should do this more often.
And when you do that, it just sets you up for the week. Like, you don't have to think about what's for dinner or stopping at the store on your way home. Like, it feels so good to be like, okay, this is what I'm having this week. Like, everything is set out and it makes your week pretty effortless.
Yeah, especially if you're someone with high functioning depression. Like that's
Yeah.
one less thing you have to worry
Mhm.
about because let me tell you, cooking dinner, that might seem simple and easy, but that's heavy. It's
I hate
heavy
it.
when I'm working 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and I'm
Mm.
coming home to cook dinner.
How
Look,
often
bitch,
do you go in at 9?
maybe like twice a week. Yeah,
Never. Never for
never.
me.
I know. I don't know how Rosa and Jasmine do 8 a.m.
I used to.
Hell no. That's like I used to do 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. No, I stopped that.
Oh, 7 o'clock sessions? Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't do those often anymore either.
Mm-mm. I don't like that.
I don't either. It's too late.
Way too late. But, you know, those small things, you got to pay attention to like what is going to help you get
Right.
out of that like mundane
Right.
routine that's not giving you any type of, pleasure, at all. And like all of our purpose is different. So you got to
Yeah.
find what yours is. All of us get connected differently. You know what I
Right.
mean? What does that look like for you? Who are your people? What are your things?
Yeah.
You got to know how to reset and fill, your cup up. And most important, you have to recognize it though. You got to catch it.
Yes. Like when we were talking about fearing irritable, all of those things, those are the red flags. Recognize them and start filling your cup up then instead of at the crash out phase. If you start filling your cup up when you're in that high functioning space, it's going to be easier than to pull yourself up out of the crash out space.
Yeah. You have to know that functioning when you're feeling like that is a red flag.
Yeah. Because
Like,
then you're going to lead to the clinical depression.
exactly. And that's what that looks like. That crash out is like, okay, you know what? That's when you start noticing, why Susie ain't got her hair done today? Right?
Susie.
I love saying that name. I don't know why.
Aw, that was my mom's name.
Really?
Sue, yeah.
Oh, I love. Oh, Sue. See?
My mom's Sue.
Sue. Remember Sue?
Yes! If you're listening.
Yeah.
Hey, girl.
Hey, girl, we miss you. But, like, you start to look like, oh, well, damn, she's late on this thing or here, whatever, like, whoever. Like, you will start noticing that.
When people drop the crumbs.
Yes, exactly.
So, guys, find your support, find your community, find a therapist. Make these small changes to pull yourself out. Find what works for you. It looks different for everybody. There's no one-way magic fix. Find your cocktail. Find whatever mixture is going to give you purpose, make you feel connected, and make you feel alive. And when we were talking about this in the beginning, I thought about like 6 years ago when I started, or almost 7 now, wow. When I started like my whole workout and all of that forever ago. My favorite influencer at that time, and I still see her stuff come up sometimes. Her name's Whitney Simmons, and she's so cute. Her quote that she said all the time was, "It's a beautiful day to be alive."
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Yeah, it is. That's what I mean. That's also what I meant by like sometimes you have to be able to say those things like, let me focus on that. Let me focus
Yes.
that I have all my senses, that I can walk, that I can talk, that I can do something today, because that is a luxury of life. And so when you are in this high functioning depression, you will lose that if we don't stay grounded, if we don't catch this. Because when that crash happens, that's when we don't feel like being alive anymore. Like you mentioned, like, I didn't even notice what happened to this person. This person was so good, all those things. So I always love that old saying, like, it takes a village. Yes, it
Yes.
does.
And I got mine.
I got mine too. I be telling people, be like, I don't like to ask people for nothing. Not me. I'm asking.
Hey, y'all.
Never been like that. Like, oh, I hate asking. No, I'm asking.
I'm like, can you do this?
You know what I mean? Because guess what? I show up for people.
Yeah.
And then maybe people like I don't know what it is, but hey, if I need help, I know I can't do this by myself.
Right.
Like, ask for help, ask for support. You know what I mean? So I want everyone to do one small thing, one small change today.
After you listen, pick your thing, do it for the day, and I want you to tell us what you did and how it made you feel.
Yeah.
I love that.
Love it.
All right, guys. I'm going to quote Whitney Simmons. It's a beautiful day to be alive. Bye, y'all. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode.
See you guys next week.
If you have any questions or would like to connect with us, please follow us on Instagram and send us a DM, or send us an email to the platforms listed below.